A car going into a pond with kids inside. We were wondering if there was any surveillance video of this attack. It was just handed to us a few moments ago. So I'm going to play it here. This is the best we can do at the moment. You're going to see this woman walking across the street. St. Paul police are now responding to our story about an investigation. The city of St. Paul making some changes starting tomorrow. The Wheelock Parkway Bridge and the Arlington Avenue Bridge both have to come down. For the next several months, season ticket holders will be coming here. Winning it could be a real long shot. The state is installing these talking urinal deodorizer cakes, hoping to keep the drunks off of the road. Out at a bar, the women aren't talking to you, but at least the urinal
is.
Yeah. Why did I come to this house to watch people smoke pot and get tattoos?
Just put your thumb over the car, and then you can hit it.
Before you judge, watch the story coming up. With her life jacket on, canoe in the water and oars in hand, Amy Anderson of Bloomington is kicking off summer. Living life to the fullest, nothing has slowed down this 45-year-old soccer mom. Warm weather has always meant organizing neighborhood block parties, walking for breast cancer, spending time with family and friends, and in the cold, hitting the slopes with her kids. This mother of two could hardly stand not being busy. But today,
it's kind of humiliating.
She could hardly stand.
I need to let my doctors know, and I'm trying to file for disability right now.
Spending time in clinics for days on end, getting steroid infusions, trying to ease the pain that all started with a loss of feeling and trembling.
It's like my whole body is shaking, but I can't see it.
I woke up one morning and my legs were completely numb. I thought maybe a pinched nerve or that I slept funny. I didn't know.
Doctors did. Amy woke up to discover a sudden new reality. She had multiple sclerosis, lesions growing on her brain that could lead to a variety of physical or mental symptoms. For Amy, it was her legs, suddenly feeling like lead weights and always feeling tired.
I was angry. I was really ticked off. I had young kids at home, and it was going to change everything.
Walking here is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It took yet another round of steroids to get her on her feet like this, but it won't last.
So this one fits my personality more.
Most days she relies on a cane and increasingly a scooter.
I didn't want to ask for help. And it's just really, seriously, this last 6-8 months that I've reached out.
And she found a huge source of comfort in a friend, Shannon Dotson of Minneapolis. Her days of hiking up mountains are behind her. Shannon herself was diagnosed with MS 6 years ago.
The thing is that no matter how close of a friend someone is, they don't understand unless they have it.
So earlier this month, Amy and Shannon took a road trip to Camp Courage in Maple Lake, Minnesota, spending 4 days with others battling MS, sharing their frustrations, their successes, but most of all, just enjoying each other's company.
Welcome to camp. Thank you very much.
For the 100 or so people attending camp this week, it's about the friendships with people who really get what they're going through. It's literally about staying afloat. But this camp lasts just a few days a year, which means when camp is over, so too can be that feeling of companionship. Suddenly, Amy is alone again, no longer in camp, but back in her living room. Which brings us to the point of this story, the power of social media in transforming lives. It's often said that someone with MS can appear to be drunk. So when Amy happened to stumble upon a Facebook page called "We're Not Drunk, We Have MS," it changed her life. It was that Facebook page that led to a connection, just a simple friendship, with a woman named Sherry in Colorado, also fighting MS.
I just immediately clicked with her, and it just was like, you know what? She's, getting up every day, and she's doing her thing, and even though she deals with it, she's still doing it. She's just, you have to keep going.
But the story doesn't end there. That friend, Sherry, was one of the first on that members-only Facebook page, already over 11,000 members in just 10 months. So Sherry decided she wanted to get everyone together for a sort of reunion at her home in Colorado. And so Amy and Shannon loaded up their car.
I'm just going to shove stuff in here.
And took another road trip, this one more than 900 miles.
We're not in Minnesota anymore. We are here.
It's a trip that could change their lives.
We're now in Nebraska.
This is so cool.
There is a moose on the side of the road.
And so after 14 hours of driving over the course of 3 days, including lots of stops, Amy and Shannon finally made it here to the outskirts of Denver, Colorado.
Okay, that's what we have.
Sherry Wyman, opening up her home dubbed Camp Wyman, had a prediction.
I know that it's going to be a tearful weekend. Ooh.
The hugs first started at the airport. Others driving to Sherry's home, getting the same emotional welcome.
Oh my God, I'm so to see.
Matt Pineda came from Atlanta.
I can't do this without crying, but I wanted to do for everything you've done.
Don't cry, honey. Honey, don't cry. It's okay. We love you.
I love you too.
A toast to the administrators of the Facebook page, the ones who run it.
To the family.
Absolutely. Best family ever.
And then a toast to the page itself.
We're not drunk, we have a mask. That's right.
Across the country they came.
Nevada, New York, Arizona,
New Hampshire,
Washington State.
And with Minnesota now just a few blocks away,
We're getting close.
even Amy's fatigue can't stop her. For a family reunion worth singing about.
We are family!
And into the open arms of her Facebook family.
Hi! Bring it in, sister. Bring it in.
Oh, it's so good to meet you. You look exactly like your picture. Oh, we made it.
I made it all from scratch. Me and Marie Callen.
Sharing laughs and tears with people who get it. A reunion worth celebrating in ink.
It's totally personal. That tattoo's going to commemorate that forever, forever.
The tattoos, the long travel to get here, the hugs, the tears, the love, the hours online. All thanks to this woman, Leslie Hilburn, who started the page.
Yeah, it's humbling. I'm amazed. And you're going to make me cry.
Turning to social media not only to improve lives.
Do you think you've saved lives?
Honestly, yeah. I have. I've had several people tell me that if it wasn't for the page or wasn't for the phone call, that they wouldn't be here today.
As you get by now, this is a true support group, members sharing their struggles and their solutions. What makes the pain go away? For some, it's pot. Medicinally or recreationally, it is legal here in Colorado. Matt, though, is from Atlanta, where it's not.
Yeah, I have to do what I have to do. I mean, it's a constant pain that you just feel. My legs are worse. I have a lot of lesions on my C-spine, which affect my mobility. I walk with a cane.
Matt was diagnosed with MS 4 years ago, and he smokes every day, having to use this roller because his fingers won't let him hand roll. He prefers marijuana over anything his doctor prescribes.
It's more effective. It works faster. I mean, I won't take any other medicine because of it, because this is so much better for me.
This is not about getting stoned for the fun of it. This is to ease the pain.
Yes, exactly. Like, I don't hurt after I smoke.
Other times he smokes using a bowl. Not everyone in this group smokes, but many were interested in learning more. So they all took a trip to, what else? A place called Kennemart, where once inside, after showing your ID, you go through another door and, well, there's not much to see.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Just a glass counter with different strains of marijuana on display. This is where recreational users come to buy. But go behind yet another door into the small room, and patients like Sherry Wyman, who has a license for medical marijuana, get theirs here. The same pot for sale, but medical patients avoid a more than 20% additional state tax.
How much is an eighth of this?
Eighth of the Dairy Queen? The Dairy Queen's actually going to be a $25 eighth.
Okay.
Yup, a strain of pot known as Dairy Queen. There's also Girl Scout cookies and other strange names.
Big Widow, do you have that back here?
All pot is not the same. Strains with the key compound of tetrahydrocannabinol, known as THC, will give you that traditional high, that feeling in your head of being stoned.
See, what I really prescribe for multiple sclerosis is CBD.
Most MS patients want relief from the pain in their bodies and choose pot with high concentrations of cannabidiol, CBD, a body relaxer.
So you want the CBDs, not so much the THCs.
That's correct.
And these are all broken up based on what you're looking for.
Correct.
The woman behind the counter, she's actually called a bud tender as she tends to these buds of marijuana, says she smokes to control her diabetes.
The chemical in marijuana can help my blood sugars not to spike.
And marijuana here isn't just for smoking.
This has 500 milligrams of THC in it.
Called peach banana rings.
Yes.
In the form and taste of gummy rings. And on this day,
$222.
Sherry buying enough here to last a few weeks. For these Facebook friends, this wraps up an educational and emotional weekend, promising this isn't the end of new friendships, but just the beginning.
To the family.
Already planning next year's reunion in Florida. Now, if you were watching yesterday, we told you there was a little twist to the story that you wouldn't see coming. Actually, it was one that I didn't see coming. It's not often enough that we recognize the people behind the camera. In this case, my photographer, Jeff Ernwine, is here with me. We were in Colorado together. You were carrying the camera, the tripod, the microphone, all the heavy stuff. And midway through this story, you told me something. And that was?
I have MS.
And you utilize this Facebook page.
Yes, I do.
How has this page changed your life?
It's great because, like they said in part one, it's one of those diseases where unless you have it, you can't explain it. Your best friend can know you all their life, but they don't really know what you're going through.
And it was tough for you to tell me and those at the station. Most folks don't know here at the station about this. But this page helped you.
This page helped me. I was able to talk to people who deal with it, who have it, and who suffer from it. There's just such a stigma attached to with it that, you know, oh, you have MS, well, let's give you light duty, let's give you light everything to do. No.
We had anything but light duty in Colorado because, of course, I wasn't aware. But you're feeling good?
Oh, feeling fine.
Good. All right, great story.
Thank you.
Nicely shot.
Thanks, Brad.
Brad, you talked to the boy who was rescued last night?
Yeah, the 11-year-old, very lucky to be alive because these currents are really moving. Let's take a look down at the water. It's moving at about 3 times its normal pace, we're told. As we go from the water, it's kind of going to be hard to see here, but through the trees on the top of the rocks there, you see a lot of people there, family members. They are family members of the victim who they're searching for. Below the areas where the 3 people went in the water, again, 2 of them okay, 1 person missing. Got off the phone a short time ago with the sheriff, who tells me 38 people were involved in this search today. They used 6 boats, several divers, but Tu Fu Vang is still missing. An agonizing day of waiting for the family of 21-year-old Tu Fu Vang. The Coon Rapids man was fishing on the St. Croix River late Sunday afternoon with his 11-year-old nephew, Kelvin Yang, when the little boy slipped.
And I didn't know it was slippery, and I stepped on the rock and I slipped and fell into the water.
Tu Fu then jumped in after him.
My uncle jumped in after me and tried to save me.
He went in with his clothes and his shoes on, and I guess in the instant that happened, he was like, oh, should I have to go save my nephew?
A passerby who saw the whole thing jumped off the rocks from about 30 feet up. All 3 floated down the river, the current just too strong. That passerby was eventually able to save the little boy.
There was like a bridge over there, and then I think I floated towards the bridge.
Toward the bridge. Were you able to get to safety by yourself, or did that other man help you?
He helped me.
But there's been no sign of Tu Fu Vang.
He never come back. They never see the river, never swimming.
So your son could not swim?
Oh, no, could not.
This is the exact spot where the 2 were fishing yesterday. You could see how low it is. It's quite a climb to get down here. As we go closer to the water, you could see how quickly the current is moving. Panning over to the right, family members are waiting for some news as crews on the water are continuing to search.
Ready? Go.
The Water Patrol spending the entire day dredging the river, but so far, no luck.
And that's our assumption. They either got caught under a underwater cavern or maybe by a log. Or I know our boats are having a hard time. We're snagging everything on the bottom of the river.
Now, again, I talked to the sheriff a short time ago who told me that they were going to keep searching until about 6 o'clock, another hour or so. But as you see here, we see no one on the river. I know there were some concerns about the weather, so they were going to stop for the night at around 6 o'clock, but apparently decided a little earlier. They're going to continue again, we're told, tomorrow morning. By the way, the victim was scheduled to get married later this summer. Live in Taylor's Falls, Brad Sattin, 5 Eyewitness News. And guys, this is a crazy story, even by bachelor party standards. This all started last night. 11 guys decide to rent an RV up in Anoka, all part of a bachelor party. They were headed to the Kentucky Derby. They left last night. They made it to here, about 2.5 hours to Winona. They took a little break here. They went back to the RV, and would you believe, inside the RV, they found a dead body. Welcome back. As you know, for about an hour and a half now, we've been following this breaking news coming out of St. Louis Park, a car going into a pond with kids inside.
We do have team coverage inside.
Are we hearing anything about the conditions of the three we know, at least three, that were taken to the hospital?
We don't know.
We are continuing to follow some breaking news out of St. Louis Park. This for about 2.5 hours now. A car went into a pond with children inside. We know a mother and 5 children were inside the vehicle at the time when this happened, around 6 o'clock this morning. We understand that CPR was performed on them when they were brought out. We don't know the condition of the 5 children. We have crews standing by for a news conference from St. Louis Park that is expected to happen at 9 o'clock in about 35 minutes. We'll continue to update you as we get more information. Well, helping when it is needed the most. Some local volunteers with the Salvation Army about to hit the road.
And right now they are heading.
Law enforcement and community leaders are teaming up today looking for ways to try to stop young Somali men in our area from being recruited by terrorists. Now, the threat involves the al-Qaeda-linked terror group Al-Shabaab. Panel is going to be holding a seminar in Bloomington today to examine how local men are being recruited, what can be done to stop it, and the lessons learned following that shopping mall attack in Kenya back in September. Al-Shabaab is claiming responsibility for that 4-day siege that killed 67 people. The FBI is looking into some evidence that trained terrorists are doing their prep work right here in the U.S. Take a look at this FBI surveillance video of an admitted al-Qaeda terrorist who already killed American soldiers in Iraq. But this video was taken not overseas, but in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Authorities saying he is one of 2 al-Qaeda members who were able to come into the U.S. because of a flawed system of background checks that didn't pick up their terrorist pasts.
The system failed here in the first place.
The 2 men in Kentucky were recently arrested when one of the men's fingerprints was found on a bomb planted in Iraq back in 2005. The U.S. has a storage warehouse of tens of thousands of other unexploded bombs that were confiscated over the years. Experts are now examining those bombs, hoping to match more fingerprints. Some new details this morning about that shooting that happened at the Los Angeles airport recently that killed a TSA agent. Coroner's report now says that Gerardo Hernandez died within 5 minutes of being shot. Investigators were looking into whether paramedics could have possibly saved him had they gotten to him faster. It took first responders 33 minutes to get him into an ambulance and on his way to the hospital. More details about his death are expected to be released in the next couple of days. It's the release of the city's 97 sampler, one of the few CDs nationwide people will wait in line for. Lots of them already are lining up at this Target. This is in Edina. Got the bands playing, music going. The doors, though, are still locked. There are only 40,000 copies available. They cost $33. There are 33 songs on 2 discs this year. It's the 25th volume of the CD, featuring artists like Capital Cities and Matt Hires. CDs go on sale at 8 o'clock this morning, so in about an hour and 45 minutes. As always, the proceeds go to charity.